Hello everybody and welcome back to Gamers Instance. My name is LetsTwitch and today we are continuing on with our series on how to code HTML for websites. Once again, just to reiterate, we're not making anything too amazing. This is just the building blocks for making a website. You do need to know this if you ever want to get into this sort of thing, but it certainly won't look good as there's not even styling, which isn't really a big part of HTML. Anyways, in the last episode we covered the very basic layout and the p tag and the header tags, which you can see here and here. If you were following along, you probably have noticed this already, and you're probably going to move on. Well, you're probably ready to move on. I certainly hope so. You've had some time to practice, one day being. But anyways, so in this episode I said I'd go over decoration, specifically font decoration, which is the underline, strike, bold, and the italics. I'd also go through some other small things that aren't really that important but can also fit in here because this is a short episode. Okay, to begin, we're going to make a new one under here. We're going to get rid of all that old stuff and we're going to make a header this time. We're going to go header 1. I'm going to say this is underlined, and then we end the header. Now, of course, at this point it isn't actually underlined because we haven't done anything yet. Okay, so the way you want to do an underline is the U tag. Now, the U tag is basically just a shorter version of underline, and then we end it here. Now, I've gone ahead and saved this as font decoration in the HTML folder we created last episode. So now, if we save it, and I have it already opened in Google, this is underlined. Yay, we did it! Good job. Moving on from the underline tag, we're going to go to the bold tag. Now this one is fairly simple. It is simply the strong tag. Now we're going to put in big and thick as the words, and then we're going to end it, and then end the p tag. Okay, so if we save it, there you can see big and thick. Okay, moving on, what is the italics tag? Good question. We're going to also make another p tag, except this time we're going to put in between it, so it's not one line and then another line. We're going to put in what I like to call the break tag. I like to call it that because that's what it's actually called. Pretty smart, you know. It's just it's the BR and then you self-close it with the slash inside the actual tag itself because it doesn't need to do slash BR. There's no point because there's nothing that goes here. There's really no point. So you just make it self-closing, and then now there'll be a gap in between them, specifically one line. And then if you want to go super fancy, you can also add in the HR tag. For those of you out there, we'll make it self-closing. For those of you out there who are geniuses, you can try and guess what this one does. You probably won't, but we'll wait and see and have a big surprise of what the HR tag does. It's another self-closing one, so that might assist in your guessing. Moving on, we're going to go to the emphasis tag or the italics tag, and that is just simply EM, and then we do underline as our words, and then we end the emphasis tag, and then we end the p tag. If I can type correctly, it's generally part of it. So now if we save, here comes the moment of truth. What does the HR tag do? Puts in a horizontal rule. That's what it stands for. So there you go, underline, italics. Pretty simple, and you can see the break there has made it like this. There you go, highlighted. So the break is just for breaking one line, so it's not, so you can have kind of spacing between your paragraphs. Okay, what's next? Strike through. Not a very commonly used one, but nonetheless important. We're also going to put in another break tag here, just to spread everything out. Get used to remembering what it actually is. Now, what is the strike tag? Very simple. Strike. Probably said it, but that's about it. The line through is just a strike tag. So now we say 2 + 2 = 5. And then we end the strike tag, and then we end the p tag. Fairly simple. There you go, gets crossed out, because no, 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 5. Good job out there if you figured that out. Good job. That is actually basically it for your font decoration. There's not really much to it, the other two being the break and the horizontal rule, just for spacing things out. They're pretty useful, especially the break. I don't use horizontal rule much because it's kind of restricting in how big it is, and it's just annoying if you want to get it in there. But certainly cool if you have a page set out in the proper way. You can definitely work it in there somehow. The websites I've been making a bit more complicated though, so it doesn't really fit. The break one is definitely important though, so make sure you remember that. Not very complicated though. So just to revise, it is the underline tag. What is that? The underline tag is U. And then moving on to strong, and then EM, and then strike. You can, instead of using EM, you can use I, and instead of using strong, you can use B, but the preferred one for HTML is strong and EM being emphasis, emphasis being italics. That is about it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. I will see you guys next time when we go over something else that I haven't decided yet. Probably tables. Let's go over tables.